Hi there, Dionne the Tea Priestess for you, me, and a cup of tea. Today I'm drinking this lovely ginger peach green tea. It's fantastic. It's by Stash Tea, I believe. I will be doing tea reviews on some of my favorite teas for the spring. That is definitely one of them. It's wonderful, wonderful, but I'll tell you more about that in another video. Let's start our time together by taking a deep breath and checking in with that body. How you doing, body? Just noticing, not trying to force it to be anything other than what it is. And give yourself permission to pack up anything that is swirling and twirling in your body right now. And allow yourself the space to just be. You can pack that up and set it all outside of our space and give yourself permission to pick it up or not. Beautiful. If you are new here, thank you very much. If you have been here with me for a little while, thank you very much for your time. Today I have another question which is perfect. I'm so glad that things are starting to resonate with people and you're starting to share what's on your mind when you're seeing these videos. So thank you. So the question is, when you start your videos, you have us check in and you tell us to acknowledge how we're feeling without trying to change it and pack it up and give yourself permission to pick it up or not. What if we want to look at the stuff and it's hard? How do I unpack it? Fantastic, fantastic question. So I thought about this for a little while and I thought about 3 ways that you can unpack the yuck with nature support. Okay, so 1, you can sort through it. Now this for me is the most challenging way, but it works the best for journaling. And when you sort through the yuck, it's not necessarily from a place of you wanting to complain about it, although sometimes it'll start out like a stream of conscious thing where you're just writing and just to get the yuck out, just sorting through it. Then after you've given yourself space to really feel the emotions and get them down on paper so that at least they're out of your body, then you can start to sort through it. Looking at it, is this stuff that I need to change? Or is this stuff that I want to change and that I'm willing to change? If it is, what would you tell a friend that came to you and said all of these things that you had written about? How does that, what would you tell your friend, and how would you tell her to move through this? And oftentimes it's easier for us to look at stuff and give people advice rather than see it in ourselves. So that's why I suggest looking at it, getting it out, processing it, getting it out of the body. Stop having it run around in your head. There's something about seeing it written down. There's also something about hearing it as well. So when I have those kind of entries that I'm just spilling out, blah, 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 he did this and he did that, that those complaining kind of negative, I guess, dense readings, sometimes it helps me to actually read them out loud. And then from there, make a decision on how I want to sort through it. Is it something that I need to change? And if so, how would I help? What would I tell somebody else that was saying the same things? I give myself some good advice sometimes. Now, then the next part of that is the courage to change it. Do you actually want to change it? Or did you just want to rant? Or did you just want to complain about it? Now, this is the beauty about keeping a regular journal. You can go back through your journal and find places where you've been complaining about the same thing over and over and over again. When I notice that for myself, that I'm complaining about the same thing over and over and over again, and I know that there is definitely a pattern that if I'm complaining, I don't like it, so I need to do something about it. Or I need to just accept that that's something that is going on and stop complaining about it, because all complaining does is just give me more fuel for complaining, right? So that's how you you kind of sort through it. The other thing, and I have my notes here, you want to ask yourself, is this in alignment with who I am and what I want? So whatever that was swirling around with you, inside of you, is it something that's in alignment with who you are and what you want? Is it in alignment with how you want to feel that day? And that's kind of a practice that I do daily in my Hobonichi, that I ask myself, how do I want to feel today? You might even be interested in using that practice with the Elemental Forces of Creation Oracle. And I just did a reading on Wednesday. What does my mind, body, and spirit need to move through the rest of the week? What qualities? So you can pull an oracle card if you're unsure of what qualities you need to make it through the day. And then when you have those swirly twirly thoughts, is this in alignment with how I want to feel today? Would be a question that you would ask yourself. The other way to deal with this stuff is to put it away, making notes about making notes about what felt good that day. So for example, again, in my Hobonichi, I write down gratitudes in the morning, but then I also turn around and write down what was awesome that day. So when I hit these patches of crap, then I have a specific place that I can go back to and look at and say, hey, this was awesome today. Okay, this is how I started my day in gratitude. I was grateful for this. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for this. What else can I be grateful for? Sometimes in those crap moments, those are the times sometimes it's great. You have to be grateful for those crap moments, you know. Those crap moments point to places where you might be out of an alignment with your spirit and with what goals and dreams you're wanting to pull through. So sometimes you're not able to get into that place of, oh, I'm so grateful that this crappy thing happened. Sometimes that takes like a week or a month or maybe even years later to be like, oh God, that was a really crappy time, but I wouldn't be in this position doing this if I hadn't gone through that. So that's another way to kind of reframe the crap. And then you want to have some rituals for thriving. When you have these, again, crap moments that you have a lot of swirling, twirling, I like to refer back to what they tell you when you get on an airplane. You have to put your own oxygen mask on, then help the person next to you. So for me, putting my own oxygen mask on means I get up a few minutes early. I do something for self-care. And oftentimes, if I have, even when I'm doing these videos, right, if I have something swirling and twirling like, oh my God, I need to hurry up and do this and this and this and this and this, or that argument, or the homeschooling, or whatever it is, the whatever. Oftentimes, it's because I didn't check in with myself in the morning, or I didn't make sure to write something down in my planner. And when I write things down in my planner, that tends to get my day started off in the way that I want it to. So when these swirly twirly things come up, then I have checked in with myself. And I really cannot stress enough to make sure that you give yourself these pockets of time to check in with yourself daily. And if you're going through a difficult time, really hourly. I refer to Jen Loudon's concept of daily minimums, because that was a really, really powerful thing that helped me through the death of my mom. When you're dealing with grief, it's a crazy, crazy thing. And so I had a list of 3 simple things that I could do to take care of myself that felt like a win. So some days it was just, if I can drink enough water, if I can have a cup of tea, if I could make sure that I eat one good meal. I mean, that was the extreme, when I was dealing with that grief. And now that it's not so heavy, sometimes it's not. The minimums are not that grandiose. If I could make up my bed, if I could do yoga for 10 minutes, or go out for a walk for 10 minutes, or stand outside and take 5 deep breaths. Small actions that you can do that give you that gives your inner critics social proof that you are taking care of yourself and that these are important things. You are important to you, right? So I hope that has been helpful. If you have any other questions, I would love to hear them. And I'd love to be able to do a video to help guide you through it. If you liked this video, do give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. What are some of the ways that you unpack hard stuff in your journal? And I will see you next week for the weekly card reading and you, me, and a cup of tea. Take care, thumbs up this video, and subscribe if you haven't already.